Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Chapek.
Make way for Bob Chapek. Say hey, it's Bob Chapek. Hey, clear the way in the old theme park. Hey, you, let me through. I'm the CEO. Oh, be the first on Main Street to meet my eye. Make way, here I come, ring a bell, shave my head. You're gonna love this app, the Genie, fabulous key to all of your planning. Genuflect, show some respect, down on one knee. Now try your best to stay calm. It all fits right in your palm. Then come and pay a spectacular extra fee. Lightning Lane made the same day saves you online time. Pay your luck for $15, definitely. Avoid the galloping tour. You'll find new ways to spend more. Who spends their money? Not me. Pay the Genie.
It's Theme Park Thursday Live with Dillos Diz. Featuring Frank. And Jen.
What did I miss? What did I miss? Hello, everyone. It's Theme Park Thursday Live. What did I miss? Yeah. He's generous, so generous. This is Theme Park Thursday Live with Dillos Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and for the next 30 minutes, I bet you can guess what we're going to be talking about here. Generally, 3 topics. The chat drives the conversation, but we recorded our podcast, Theme Park Thursday, on Tuesday night. And since Tuesday night, 7,000 things have been announced since that time. Jen listed them off to me, and she was like, there's too many things.
There's too many things. Every time a news story would drop, I'm like, this, and then this.
And we touched on it a little bit on the podcast, saying like, it feels like, social content. You got to put out the content, but it's almost becoming a little too frantic. So it almost went like, what? The Galactic Star Cruiser pricing? Bleh. What? The Very Merry Christmas Spectacular pricing? Bleh. And then, hello, it's the Genie. Welcome to the rest of your life at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. Well, let's get right to it with the 3 topics, the 3 subjects. Genie in a bottle, baby. You know it. You love it.
I'm a genie not that line. I probably shouldn't sing that line.
As someone who worked very closely with the Genie for a long time, where famous wrestler Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner chopped the Genie across the chest, as told on Theme Park Thursday, the podcast last month. I'm a little insulted by all of this. We'll get into that. Topic number 2 is Lightning Lane.
Oh,
is that all connected?
Yeah,
But all. Now, originally, we were going to do 3 topics that were just Genie specific, and that went until about an hour ago, where Jen dropped the New York Times article. So topic number 3 is the robots are taking over, which I guess is appropriate at this point in time. We might as well just accept defeat, and the robots are taking over.
Yeah.
So that's the 3, the topics. You knew it, the Genie, the lightning, and the robots.
I guess you guys could pick the order if you want, but
I think you know where we're going.
But feel free if you have other comments to make. We don't want to stop you.
So yesterday, around 5 o'clock, the news came down the turnpike, as it were, the Jericho Turnpike.
Oh, not the Florida Turnpike.
It could be the Florida Turnpike. On the Hempstead Turnpike on the Hillside Avenue. So good one, Dr. J, with the no intervention loop removal. Like we said,
it could be a big story. There's too many things, though.
There's so many things.
And really, isn't that just me going on a rant? So we can always say that.
And we can say that the intervention loop being removed permanently is part of the robots taking over. I'm willing to, if that's really where we're going, then that's how it's gonna be. But the Genie service is a complimentary service. That's my favorite line of the whole thing. It's a complimentary service, guys. Just so you know, coming this fall to Walt Disney World Resort and Disneyland Resort, Disney Genie is a complimentary and convenient new digital service designed to create your best Disney day. We've been listening to your feedback. You want planning to be easier, you want more flexibility, and you want better tools to help you make the most of your visit. And that's exactly what Disney Genie is here to do. Is it? That's what the Genie is here to do.
They've been listening, guys. They've been listening and taking in all of your feedback.
So I spent a lot of my weekend up at the Sterling Renaissance Festival dealing with a lot of spontaneity. And one of the maybe it's in this Disney Parks blog or in another article I read somewhere, it was about promoting, bringing back that spontaneous feeling you get just, finding your way, exploring Disney parks.
Yeah, that's what this does.
What? It's like,
this is in no way more planning. That's not what this is.
You don't get up at 7 a.m. and decide what you might do every morning now, not just the day that you're at the studios for Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
Jen, what were your initial thoughts about with wide eyes? She's thinking about it.
I have many thoughts. My initial thoughts were, well, it was really funny because I was receiving a text message while I was at my kids' ninja class. And was like, the signal's not great in here and I need to really do a deep dive. And then was kind of like, I really need to zone in because there's way too much already. And then everyone's got their opinions already out there and everything's happening. So, I understood the complimentary portion, which I believe, we used to hear that this was coming kind of as a I don't want to say something to touring plans, right? I mean, can we just say that? It's
competitive
right.
too.
It's Disney's answer to touring plans. So I always kind of knew that was happening. Obviously, the complimentary portion is not the news headline here with the Genie. And that is not what has taken over. And that is not what has everyone's opinions going. So people have some opinions.
I don't know what you mean. You want to pay $6,000 for the Galactic Star Cruiser. You want to pay $250 for a Christmas party. And maybe now you get this Genie for free. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Let's look, because we at Dillos Diz, we don't like change, but we also like to look at things from both sides, right? Now, I did see Dr. Jacqueline, who's in the chat tonight. Dr. Jacqueline, how are you? That she kind of broke it down, day by day. If I do this many rides, this many days, it's only this much, which doesn't seem so bad. And there are absolutely people that are like, I would pay that to get on the ride, no problem. And I'm not saying I'm not one of them, or I am, or what. I haven't even crossed that bridge yet. But there are absolutely people who are like, that's totally worth it. Maybe you only see it worth it in one park, maybe in all the parks, whatever it is. Not everyone feels that way. And people feel like, here's Disney being greedy again. Here's Disney nickel and diming again. Here's all of this. We said on today's Theme Park Thursday, the podcast, we were talking about the Christmas party. And I said that growing up, we were fortunate enough to go to Disney a lot. Prices for everything was way cheaper. And not because of the time. It has not equaled out with inflation. It's just way crazier now than it was then. So it makes me sad that families are not able to do these trips like we were able to do them because of the cost of everything, whether it's the park tickets, whether it's these parties that you have to pay extra for, whether now it's these lines that if you really want to get on the ride, you pay this. And then guess what, everybody? You're still not guaranteed to get on that ride. So that's not my favorite part. And I clarified that today by going to the my little Disney experience app and asking the chat person and the customer, the cast member, I should say, that if I really want, I have the Genie, I have it tied to my, I paid for it, all that kind of stuff. I really want to go on the mine train. I don't really try for the mine train until 1 p.m. Mm-hmm. Oh, based on availability, there's a good chance I'm not getting on the mine train. So now I've paid for something. You know, you can almost argue with like Rise of the Resistance. I paid to get into this park. I paid all this money to get into the park. I only have 1 day in the studios. And if I don't get on this ride, there goes my chance. And I just paid all this money to get into the park. Now you up it one. Now I've paid money to get into the park, and I've paid for the Genie app for my entire party, and I'm still not guaranteed to get onto the ride that I want. Your chances are good, but it's not a guarantee. So there's many ways to look at this, but you asked, and then I'm going to stop talking. You asked on the podcast, do I have a line? Do I have a line where I go, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to Disney anymore? Because, you know, you always see that with everybody. There's always one person that comes out with whatever it is, the Halloween party, the Christmas party, the day ticket prices are going up, and someone goes, that's it, Disney just lost all my money. I don't personally have a line, but the line of how often can I go and enjoy doing the things I want and be able to afford it all, that keeps getting pushed more and more, because you're not going to be able to do it as often for families with a bunch of kids or one kid or whatever it is. Families save up a lot of money for this. So I'm just rambling at this point, and I'll stop now. Over to you.
No, they're all good points. And I mean, just to point out how Dillos don't like change, you're right. You know, I didn't like when Fast Pass came out 22 years ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I was a local at the time. I was like, what is this? We don't need this. And I would still argue up until May of 2021 when I got on Peter Pan twice in one day for the first time since the 1980s. Mm-hmm. That maybe we didn't need Fast Pass for everything all the time. And, you know, I find the pricing interesting. I will say the other part of Dillos don't like change, and the things I don't really like, and you've heard me rant about it on the podcast before, even though it exists everywhere, so I get it, is the dynamic pricing. So the days that I'm going to pay $132 instead of $109, am I going to throw another $15 on top of that? I don't think so. And, you know, I have a locals mentality at this point. You know, I've been there enough. You know, I don't need to do it. Yeah. But you know, and Dr. Jacqueline, please subscribe to Pixie Dust PhD if you haven't already. That, you know, brings up the point of like, I'm not going to pay for it. And I don't disagree. Like, I don't see a situation currently where I'm paying $45 for the three of us to maybe get the access that we want. I don't, you know, I don't, and especially on days where, you know, the crowd is projected to be low, because you know why? I check touring plans. So why am I going to, you know, spend it if I know I purposely picked a lower attended day? I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, and I, you know, having worked for an airline, I completely understand two sides, I guess, of the business aspect of, sure, we've listened to feedback, but hey, here's some ways we can make some more money and get some more from the guests. But I also get the guest side of, I used to be able to get a fast pass for free, and now you're going to charge me. And that, you know, and it was always the changes along the way. First, you could get a fast pass. Then you could only get fast passes in certain tiers, and you had to use up these in order to get this, and which people weren't that fond of. And now you have to pay for it if you really want it. And that part, to me, is where people feel nickel and dimed. When I worked for an airline, you know, there was always a discussion of what bag is free and what might not be free in the future, and how much you're going to charge and how much you're going to raise those prices along the way when people are used to getting it for free. You know, and I think that's just how everything works now. Even in hotels, you used to be able to just park your car for free, and now they charge you. You used to not have hotel costs. What am I paying? When I book a room and I pay for my room, that's not a hotel cost. I don't understand. Like, You know, all these things over the years have changed where they absolutely, all these types of, what's the term I want? Not
Upcharges?
Well, the upcharges, yes, but like airlines and hotels and theme parks and, you know, this world has absolutely started to nickel and dime more and more because they can. I'm not going to stop going to Disney. Most people are not going to stop going to Disney. They can do this. People will buy it. If you build it, he will come. It's happening. So that's why they keep doing it. And no, that's not to start a revolution going, we all have to boycott Disney and that'll show them. It's not happening. Like, just stop. Just stop.
I will amend my previous statement and say, you know, the first time I go to Disneyland, will I be tempted to use, you know, Lightning Lane because I've never been and I want to make sure, because I mean, the only time I will say I have felt like the Fast Pass system benefited me was when I went to Disneyland Paris. And I had one day, and Steffers, you missed my big musical number at the beginning of the live. So you got to go back to the beginning. And, you know, that I was like, there's 6 rides I want to go on. I got to make sure I hit the 6 rides. And I used the Fast Pass here and there. I still didn't get on Peter Pan, and I had the Fast Pass in my hand as I was leaving. But I had to make a train back to Paris. And you know, so that's the only time. So when I think about the first time I go to Disneyland, maybe I will go on and use the Genie in that system. But again, look at it the other way. I've been to Disney World 600 times. I don't foresee a time where I will use Genie for any reason. So. Yeah.
And I also think of, you know, Mama and Papa Dillo as an example. And they will always say, even just now of how things have been so far, like, what are we going to do when we go to Disney? Because they know you have to book your dining reservations so far in advance. And now you had to do everything basically on the app. And they don't work that way. And going back to my airline days, this would be the discussion we would have in meetings all the time when they would think about, let's do more kiosks and less crew members when you walk into an airport. No, because you're still going to have a certain group of people that prefer the face-to-face contact and all of that. It is making things more difficult for a certain group of people to go to Disney, whether that is because of pricing, whether that is because of technology or whatever it is. And I know it's the world we live in now, and so people need to get on board. But you are making it more difficult for some people. But I also think they're like, okay, that's fine. You know, I don't think that matters really to them.
No, and I think you would get people who would say, well, they're making it more difficult to help, you know, maybe lower their attendance too. They're raising costs where they can to make up for making it a challenge for people who might just be like, I don't want to go. And they're like, great, our attendance will be people will have a greater experience because the attendance will be less. That remains to be seen. I think that's an interesting theory, but I don't know. So was that topic 1? Is that all of topic 1?
Well, Lightning Lane, I mean, we're kind of into that, right? I mean, we're
so
talking about that as well.
For even more convenience and flexibility, there are 2 other options for enjoying our theme parks through a queue we are introducing called the Lightning Lane entrance that also saves you time in line. Disney Genie Plus service available for purchase for the price of $15 per ticket per day at Walt Disney World and $20 per ticket per day at Disneyland Resort. Someone explain to me why it's less expensive in Walt Disney World than Disneyland. I would love to know. Choose the next available time to arrive at a variety of attractions and experiences using the Lightning Lane entrance. We'll just skip down a little bit. Individual attraction selections available for purchase. Schedule a time to arrive up to 2 highly demanded attractions each day using the Lightning Lane entrance. So not $15 included there. That's another. Add more money. Lightning Lane selections will be made on the same day of your visit and can be used across multiple theme parks. Great for those who love the park hopper option. By the way, that's another $80 if you want to explore that option.
And it's not a guarantee. It is not a guarantee
Yeah.
that it is based on availability. And Dr. Jacqueline makes a good point. Genie Plus does not come with PhotoPass in Disney World, which when I first read it, I thought it did. And then when I went back again, I was like, wait a second, you're not, why? Why? And Nate, welcome. Nate, if you also missed the opening of the show, you may want to go back and watch Frank do a performance.
There's a little bit of a musical number, everybody. A little bit of a musical number.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think, I understand you can't guarantee anything, right? You can't really guarantee anything. But when you are asking me, when I make a dining reservation, to guarantee it by putting down my credit card, because if it cancels, you still want to get some sort of money out of it. But if I go, there's something came up and I can't make it, well, now we're going to charge you $40 for your whole family to not be here. But I'm going to pay you for this lightning lane, and you're not going to guarantee me I can get on whatever ride I want? No, I don't really love that.
It should hold the reservation.
That's the point of the reservation.
You hold the reservation. It doesn't, I think people are right to be completely worked up over it, I think. Mm-hmm. I find myself not as worked up over it. I'm not sure why. Maybe because I'll never use it on my trips to Disney World, at least for the foreseeable future. But and it wasn't completely unexpected. And I've seen people the other way go, well, I was surprised it was only $15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but because we have this conversation on past podcasts and probably older podcasts at this point when we were like struggling to find things to talk about, which would be, how long would you wait in line for this attraction? Right. And, especially you'd be like 10 minutes. Yeah. But most things are never 30 to 35 minutes. Right. And so I don't know and don't trust that currently the Genie Plus and the extra money spent will result in me getting on rides. I don't know what rides that would qualify for at this point.
I can see it for the big hitters, the Smuggler's Run, Rise of the Resistance. Probably Ratatouille went, but that's not a guarantee, right? Is Ratatouille in that list yet?
I think it's on the higher list, okay. I think, right?
The mountains, so I can see it for that. I think I saw someone mention, I'm not using that at Epcot. And I agree with that. I wouldn't, definitely not. But I think you're right. For us who kind of have the mentality of a local of, I've been there before, I'm going to go back at some point. I don't need to be on everything. I don't have to get on everything. But I also don't mind that it is an option that this past trip, Mr. Snidillo has never been on Rise of the Resistance. He still hasn't. Now, if we had bought this pass, he probably would have had a better chance of seeing it. So sure, for things like that happen, I can see me maybe doing it once in a while or, once every few years in order to meet certain trips. But I do feel for the families that haven't been to Disney or don't do it that often or save up a lot of money to do it. And then they have all these obstacles in place that are making things, they are masked as making things easier. But when you have to do where do I want to eat 2 months from today? Let me stay up until midnight. Oh, I can't get a reservation there. It's all sold out. What? And I have to figure these things out. It's just all these little things. Don't make it spontaneous. Don't make it feel relaxing like a vacation. But I don't think that's the goal at this point. So,
right.
Yeah.
Number 3. We're going to talk a lot. I'm sure the Genie conversation is going to carry over into Dillos This Resort for the post show. I'm sure it's going to carry over into Theme Park Thursday, the podcast next week. I would expect we're going to be talking about the Genie, so that we don't talk about Enchantment.
We only have 30 minutes.
But, again, let's tell them they got to pay more with the Genie so people don't get angry that Happily Ever After is over anymore. All right. So the robots are taking over. I'm going to try to share the screen in the last 6 minutes of this. Okay. Share, because I got beef with this art. I got a different beef with this article probably. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The article from the New York Times. Get ready for this. So you see my screen? Are you ready for sentient Disney robots? Right, but here's my subtitle beef. You can see my email addresses right there, right? So. Some of
everyone email Frank after
let me X all these out, right? I don't
know. No, we can't see anything else except that. You can share it back up.
All right. Some of the animatronics at Disney's parks have been doing their herky-jerky thing since the Nixon administration. The company knows that nostalgia won't cut it with today's children.
What? I'm highly offended. What are you talking about?
What? I don't know who you think you're writing this article
How
for,
dare you?
but you are a New York periodical, and you dare to suggest that I am not making my child love nostalgia the same way I do. So, in the back, near a black curtain, a little wrinkled hand waved hello. It was Groot. He was about 3 feet tall and ambled toward me. Look at that. Yeah, look at that.
Terrifying.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Robots have, we've had robots wander around Epcot in the 80s.
Yeah, I miss those things.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm ready for it. Some people are like, here we go. It's not 1963 anymore. Listen, every week on Theme Park Thursday, it's 1963. Every week.
It's 1992, but it's.
That's true. It is 1992. All right, if we're going to clarify, it is 1992 every week. So check out this article when you can and take a look, because I think it's super interesting. And Mr. Damaro acknowledges there is legacy here. People like the way things are. That's right, Mr. Damaro. But we're going to keep pushing, keep making it better. Again, we have the darkness and the light at the top of it.
I was going to say, tomorrow gets a Chapek.
Here's the thing about the improvements of audio animatronics, right? So, because you got a little tease with Spider-Man on the Imagineering story, but you see how I feel like I still have yet to see a great video of that Spider-Man animatronic. Every time I look at it, I feel like it's Jazzy Jeff being thrown out of Uncle Phil's house on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And so I don't know how I think it's a great looking animatronic for sure, but I don't know if I like the way it's being used. I see Groot. I get excited for this stuff. What else could there possibly be out there? And might I suggest Muppets roaming Liberty Square? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm looking for. Let's see some Muppets in this version.
Anywhere we can fit in Muppets, we're going to try.
But is this something you want to see more? Do you want to see like a Groot walking around? Do you want to see? I feel like it always seems like a good idea, and then in a year, it's like when Mickey used to talk to you in town hall. It's a touchy subject for Jen.
I wasn't about it at first because I didn't like the inconsistency across the parks, but then the experience of it, I very much liked, and then they took it away, and I'm not okay. I like, if you're going to specifically ask about Groot, but am I excited by the technology and the advancement and having this presence in Epcot?
They did
that one.
You did.
Am I excited to see this in Epcot? Yes, because to me, Epcot always had that, right? It always had the futuristic feel, and it always had the new technology and the new developments. It's kind of been held back for a while now, so it would be nice to see that in the parks again. Yeah.
No, Dr. Jacqueline, I see your other comment here. We love talking Mickey also.
Yes.
But we knew that it was going to, it was presented as if this would be the new wave of character experiences, and instead we are left with no talking Mickey. So and the 7-year-old's first Mickey experience was talking Mickey, and
and on the first birthday, Mickey sang to the 7-year-old.
Guess what, everybody? It's 8:29, and that means we have barreled through these 30 minutes here. Make sure you click the like button here on this video. It helps spread the word.
Subscribe, ring the bell, do all the YouTube things.
Tell everyone that you get a musical number this week on Theme Park Thursday Live for just like you never know what you're gonna get. Oh, but next week, guess who's guest hosting? That means
that's right.
That means Mr. Snidillo has 1 week.
I know. I was just thinking that watching our intro. Yeah.
You might have to stop the video and go, and Steffers, and then continue the video. I don't know.
Right.
Don't know what the answer is, but Steffers will be filling in for me next week. Where will I be? I don't know.
Where will
Interesting.
you be?
Where in the world will I be on my last trip before Genie takes my life away? Before the Genie takes over. Should I sing on my way out?
If you want,
Fabulous
everyone
key.
join us over at DillosDizResort.com.
Right, the big finish. Right? Can I do that? Maybe if I
Oh.
can like do the big finale. I don't
Oh,
know if I
sure.
can pull that up so quick, but the big finale would be like. I missed it. I missed the cue. Here it is. You ready? Loves to work for him. No, they don't. You're just lousy with loyalty too. Here we go. Ready? The Genie, fabulous key for all of your planning. Heard your phone was a sight lovely to see. And that's good people is why he got on up and dropped by with 60 elephants. No, that's not it. That's the song. We got to go. Bye-bye.
Deuces.
Way for the Genie.